We're all familiar with the three whats. What is it? What can you do for me? And what does it cost? At Country Financial, we can help you find the answers with insurance coverage to help you protect what matters the most, all at prices you can afford. While you're juggling work, kids, and keeping an eye on the future, we'll make sure we're one of the first ones there when you need us the most. Call me, Buddy Wilson, your newest Country Financial representative in Clinton at 217-935-5620. Let's chat about your insurance needs today.
Who's there?
It's coming for your soybean fields.
It's pigweed!
The pigweed! It's everywhere!
Oh no! My soybean fields! Run!
Yes, run to keeppigweedaway.com and protect your fields with a layered residual herbicide program from BASF. Always read and follow label directions.
Red or green? The question that draws a line in the sand for the farming community. Well, now, regardless of which side you're on, Macon, DeWitt, Shelby, Christian, Moultrie, and Piatt County Farm Bureau members can enjoy a discount with the new John Deere and Case IH special discounts. Members can save up to $500 off Case IH equipment, including large square balers, various farm mall utilities, self-propelled wind drawers, and more. John Deere offers Farm Bureau members a free Platinum 2 membership, and if you're already a Green Fleet member, they'll add 5 credits to your existing membership. Not a Farm Bureau member? Call your County Farm Bureau office or visit Illinois Farm Bureau online and join today.
CEO Paul Scourin here from Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. We're proud to be the title sponsor of WEZC's Sounds of the Season non-stop Christmas music, December 24th and 25th for the 8th consecutive year. Tune your radio to WEZC 95.9 from noon Christmas Eve through midnight on Christmas Day, as many of our staff wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas.
You want to feel important.
You want to be part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong.
We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more.
When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it.
We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors.
From the lakeshores of Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota,
the fertile fields of Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa, to the wide open plains of North and South Dakota.
We are here for our hometowns.
And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Illinois Army National Guard, aired by the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you're looking for the latest in local hunting and fishing information, then join us for Central Illinois Outdoors with me, Jared White, Saturday morning at 7, Sunday morning at 8 on all WHOW platforms. Every weekend, we'll offer detailed Central Illinois fishing reports, and I'll invite you to share your favorite stories as well. Central Illinois Outdoors with me, Jared White, every weekend here on WHOW and on demand at CentralIllinoisOutdoors.com. Brought to you by Bob Ridings in Pana, the Clinton, Illinois Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau, and Locked and Loaded in Pana.
You know this truck. It's been there in the hard times.
Hey, Greg. Here's that seed for your replant.
Wow, Brian, that was quick. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
And it's there to celebrate the good times.
Nice harvest, Greg. Man, that corn did great in your soil.
Yes, it did. Thanks for the advice.
Anytime. Always happy.
You know we're in this with you. You know Burris. Visit us online at burrisseed.com.
10 minutes after 7 o'clock is news time on this Friday morning. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast. Brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. A Clinton insurance agent contributed Thursday morning to the Clinton Police Department for tactical flashlights. Country Financial agent Buddy Wilson explains Country Financial's Helping Heroes program allowed him to purchase 6 flashlights from Seymour-based First Light USA.
It's not just about insurance to me. It's about getting involved in local organizations, being a part of some of the golf country club stuff, being a part of the VFW being a part of the chamber, getting involved in those organizations and seeing how I can help the community, and helping first responders is also a big thing to me. Here next week, we're going to be presenting Clinton Police Department through Operation Helping Heroes with some tactical gear that we purchased for them. That'll kind of segue into some of the programs I have available on the nonprofit side. But, Country Financial has provided us the opportunity with Operation Helping Heroes to help first responders and teachers as much as we can. So I'm definitely going to take advantage of that. I know about serving my country, and I want to serve my community. I'm not just going to sell you a product and then push you by the wayside. I'm going to sell you a product, and I'm going to be there for you anytime you need me. If you need advice on just about anything, you give me a call. I'm there to help.
First Light flashlights are a favorite among law enforcement and military personnel across the country and the world. Police Chief Ben Lauer sings the praises of the lights, but is also grateful to Wilson for outfitting every officer on the force with a flashlight now.
Well, first of all, we're very grateful for Buddy and his agency, his office. Once again, as a recipient of the Helping Hands, or Helping Heroes, I guess, grant that they offer. And so very grateful to be a recipient of that, and working with Country Companies and Buddy in his office to be that recipient. This year, they are providing us with some First Light USA T-Max flashlights, an extremely high-end tactical flashlight that they offer. Something we've had a great relationship with First Light for the last several years, but this will allow us the opportunity to now complete all of our officers with that. One of the most crucial pieces of equipment that an officer can carry, in our line of work is good lighting. And we're just very fortunate to have that relationship with both Country Companies and First Light to be able to go ahead and equip the remaining staff that we have.
Ray Witches is a former DNR officer and represented First Light in the presentation Thursday. He says First Light flashlights offer an ease of use that is unmatched for law enforcement and military.
First Light's been in business since 2004. We're a tactical flashlight company. It mainly does business with military, law enforcement, and first responders. And a lot of people don't know we're located in Seymour, Illinois. So we're completely U.S. made, nothing shipped in. We assemble there. We build everything in the United States, either in Illinois or Wisconsin. And one of the best things about it is our lifetime warranty. And we like to supply what we call tip of the spear and point of injury. So, the warriors that are military, all the way down to our first responders who are in action at the time that they need these flashlights. They have to be very, very reliable. And it's a flashlight that the one that they're getting is the top end law enforcement light. And that's the folks that I deal with most of the time is law enforcement. And we're very proud to be able to supply these through Country Companies to the Clinton Police Department.
Buddy Wilson's office is located at 320 East Van Buren Street in Clinton. You can find First Light USA on Facebook or Instagram. A portion of the Heart of Illinois regional radio listening area will soon be represented by Lincoln Republican Sally Turner on the WHOW Morning Show Thursday. Senator Chapin Rose praised Senator Turner for her early work in the Senate and says her constituents will appreciate her as they get to know her. Senator Turner spent many years in the Logan County Courthouse before her transition to the Illinois legislature.
As your listeners know, we've got a change coming here, the election of November. It's off this census. We've got brand new districts. I will be exiting the DeWitt, Macon, McLean, and Piatt area. My district will be going basically from Iroquois County down to Kentucky, over closer to Champaign. I wish I was joking about that last part, but it is what it is. And then this area will be bringing in Senator Turner, Sally Turner, who has done a great job in about a year or so. It's been a year and a half that she's been a state senator, former clerk over in Logan County. And so I wanted to have her come in here and introduce herself to your listeners. But I'll tell you, folks, you're going to get a good one here with Sally Turner. She's a hard worker, very well versed on issues, and beyond that is just a heck of a nice lady. Please, if you have issues going forward, get a hold of her, get a hold of her staff. They're very friendly, and I know that she'll probably agree with this, that we can't always help, but we can always try to help. So, Sally, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Here. Well, Seth, thanks for having us. And Chapin, thanks. I've learned a lot from Chapin. I'm not going to be quite as loud as he is or demonstrative because he is a force to be reckoned with on the floor, which we greatly appreciate. Again, I'm Sally Turner. I live right down the road from here off of Route 10 as you head toward Mount Pulaski and Lincoln. I was the Logan County clerk for 6 terms, so I'm very familiar with this area. The issues at being a clerk are quite large. Everything from vital records to elections to tax extensions, taxing districts, recording, all those issues that affect the everyday person. I'm familiar with. So I think that was very helpful when I came into the Senate to be able to offer those ideas on issues. I will be covering now all of DeWitt, all of Piatt, all of rural Macon, all of rural McLean, continue to represent Logan, a little bit of Sangamon, a little bit of Livingston, a little bit of Woodford, and Tazewell County.
Both Senator Rose and Senator Turner are getting to know their new districts. Senator Turner is trying to get out to hear from local leaders in her district as well as her new constituency.
As we have progressed going out into the different new communities, we're doing a lot of meet and greets and a lot of coffee and conversations to meet some of the individuals in the community, but also we're going to do traveling office hours. Well, we'll go to a library or a park district, or we go to the David Davis Mansion on Friday just to meet folks that want to come in and talk about different issues. Most of it's impactful, things that are impact local government, how does it impact me as an individual in local government. But one of the big things, and I think I mentioned to you personally a while ago, has to do with fentanyl and how fentanyl is affecting. If it hasn't affected you yet, it will. So one of your loved ones is something's going to occur, and this fentanyl somehow is going to affect your family. And that's a huge issue that tends to get overlooked. If you do the comparison, it's like a jetliner crashing every day. We'd probably report on that jetliner that crashed every day, but we're not reporting on those 200 plus deaths of individuals 18 to 40 dying every day.
Senator Rose sent one final thank you to the people of DeWitt County in central Illinois that he has represented for almost a decade. He feels everyone came together to help protect the Mahomet Aquifer, among several other successes in that time.
I'll say this too while I've got the mic. I just like to say thank you to, not just you, Seth, and Randy and Jared and the whole group here, but everybody listening. I can't believe that 10 years has gone by in a flash, but we've done a lot of good things for this area. We were able to help protect the water supply, spent years and many bills trying to protect the Mahomet Aquifer, and was very successful at it, frankly, with the help of the citizens of this county. Many people came over to testify at hearings. We had Congressman Davis's help on the federal piece of that. And we, very proud of that as we exit, but the friendships here will last forever. I know that, we're literally right next door. I was just telling you on the break that my house is literally just a couple miles from the district line. So if folks need anything, holler. But I'll tell you what, folks, you're really going to like Sally Turner. She's going to do a great job for you. And I'd like to welcome her into this part of the country in her new district. Again, everything will be official mid-January, but if you need anything in the meantime, holler, and you're really going to like Sally Turner in the future.
Senator Rose and Senator Turner say they are focused on keeping a close eye on the assault weapons ban legislation, which they predict will look vastly different after hearings and amendments are made. Senator Turner has also introduced legislation to increase the penalties against dealers of drugs laced with fentanyl. Time is 19 minutes after the hour on this Friday. Plenty more to get to coming your way on the WHOW Morning Show.
Are you a friend of agriculture? This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. We're giving a $500 Friends of Ag discount to anyone that orders a new Chevrolet or Buick to be built just for you this month. Are you a friend of ag? You are if you're a member of any ag organization employed by any ag-related business, including research, inputs, manufacturing, sales, and marketing, and of course, ag education. Come in, order yours today. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
20 minutes after the hour is news time on this Friday morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Hunters in Illinois harvested more deer this year during the firearms season. Preliminary figures show a total of nearly 77,000 deer. That compares to a little over 70,000 taken in 2021. Overall, the 7-day firearms season seemed to be successful, says State Department of Natural Resources Wildlife Chief Mike Weafer.
Deer hunting is just not about the harvest. It's about the experience. The being close to nature, being outdoors, and spending time with friends and family ranks very high in hunter satisfaction.
There are still opportunities for deer hunting, including the ongoing archery season.
We have late winter antlerless only season and chronic wasting disease seasons in certain counties. Those run December 29th through January 1st. And then there's a second segment that's January 13th through the 15th.
Archery deer season is ongoing and lasts through January 15th. House lawmakers are gathering more testimony on a proposed ban on assault-style weapons. The group heard from several speakers about the data behind the ban and the need to act now on the legislation. Representative Kathleen Willis of Addison says there is no need for these types of firearms.
To have an assault-style weapon, you're not using that for hunting. You could possibly do more harm than good in protecting your home and your family with that. And that is something I truly am concerned about.
House Minority Leader-elect Tony McCumbee says this isn't the answer.
We do need to focus on solutions that are going to make our community safer, but if this passes, it's going to be ineffective and unconstitutional.
The next hearing is scheduled for Tuesday. Supporters hope to get the bill passed in early January. A major shift in the weather pattern is expected to arrive just before the Christmas holiday. For most of the month, temps across Illinois have been normal to slightly above. Atmospheric scientist Eric Snodgrass says he's focused on possible stormy days leading up to Christmas, as temperatures are expected to be 30 to 40 degrees below normal.
I'm very worried about holiday travel. That's going to be extremely disruptive this year. So if someone's listening and they do have holiday travel plans, I would just have your backup plan ready to go right now and call your friends and family and say, hey, listen, the chances of it being quite disruptive is high. And remember, it doesn't have to be here. You put something on the East Coast, it disrupts global travel. So we just have to be on the lookout for that.
Snodgrass says it's a long ways out to forecast, but it does look like snow could be in the forecast for many in the state by mid to late next week. The State Department of Employment Security says Illinois has enjoyed a year and a half of consecutive job growth. November marked the 18th month in a row for job gains, with more than 17,000 added. Illinois Department of Employment Security Director Kristen Richards says growth was seen in several areas.
Leisure and hospitality, professional and business services, and trade, transportation, and utilities all saw tremendous gains over the month of November.
Richards adds it's important to keep this in mind.
Job growth has resulted in more individuals re-entering the labor force and identifying as actively searching for work. That therefore results in a slight increase to the unemployment rate month to month.
The Illinois unemployment rate for November came in at 4.7%, an increase from 4.6% in October. Food banks are under all sorts of pressure during the holidays, and this year there are even more problems to overcome as the cost of nearly everything has gone up. Pam Molitoris is the executive director of the Central Illinois Food Bank and says they are battling inflation like everyone else.
Because the cost of food has gone up, when we're getting food from the government, we're actually getting less because they're buying that food, but they can't purchase as much. The other thing that has happened is with supply chain still being, it's better than it was during COVID, but it's still a little difficult at times. We're not getting the donations that we got before. And so we're relying on cash donations to go out and buy products. So we're spending more money on that product. Short part of a very long story is it costs us more to bring less product in.
The increased cost of diesel has also dented food bank budgets this year. Farm broadcasters across the country are expressing some concern over AM radio in electric vehicles, or lack thereof. The issue is starting to gain more attention, says Tom Brand, who serves as the executive director of the National Association of Farm Broadcasting.
Electric vehicles have continued to gain in popularity, and we know that the manufacturers have embraced the idea of doing more electric vehicles that are on the road. We've already seen that in Europe, and it's definitely continuing over here to the United States. What really brought this to the forefront, I don't know that we had given a lot of consideration to the fact that some manufacturers were not doing AM radio in car dashes. But Ford announced on their F-150 Lightning electric vehicle that they were not going to include AM as part of the frequency selection on the dash of vehicles, and it's an issue where we don't anticipate there's going to be a lot of electric vehicles on farms across the nation. But as they continue to grow in popularity, and with some of the tax incentives that are in place, and maybe some folks saying, well, for just a commuter vehicle, it might make the right economic choice. We want to make sure that AM radio is still a part of the dashboard, because that's what so many of our member stations are a part of, is the National Association of Farm Broadcasting. We have about 1,600 different stations out there that farmers and ranchers can tune into and hear farm broadcasting, and over half of them, of course, are AM radio signals.
Brand says those worried about the issue should start by sharing their concerns with local dealers. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Rowell is announcing a $10.7 billion opioid settlement with two major drug stores. Rowell and 17 other states' attorney generals joined the lawsuit against Walgreens and CVS.
What we allege collectively is that the companies did not have the appropriate controls in place and didn't give pharmacists sufficient time, staffing, and resources to perform due diligence on opioid prescriptions.
Rowell says he will continue to go after industries contributing to the opioid epidemic.
That means that a lot of the pharmacists did not have time to review the prescriptions before dispensing, and not enough time to flag suspicious orders.
Under the settlement, the stores will have to implement a system providing more oversight when dispensing opioids. Illinois' portion of the deal will be used for prevention and treatment programs. A massive rebuild of a snarled highway interchange in Chicago is wrapping up. The Jane Byrne interchange is a choke point that brings 400,000 people a day through it. The interchange connects three interstates to each other and feeds traffic into the loop. Governor J.B. Pritzker says drivers will begin seeing much improved traffic in the area.
People are going to experience less delays. Look, there's no doubt that during rush hour, during the heaviest traffic times, there is always a bit of a slowdown. It's just that when there's all that construction going on for so many years, and lanes shut down, and so many things that frankly were built-in problems that they were trying to solve for the last 10 years, now that are solved, there is no doubt about it that people will have an easier time. But am I guaranteeing you that you're going to be able to go, at the speed limit at all times through this area? I can't guarantee that, but I can tell you that every effort has been made to not only make it faster, but safer.
The work was slated to take 5 years, but wound up taking 10. 29 minutes after the hour here on this Friday, coverage of the WHOW Morning Show brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. As we come up on 7:30, a look at local sports comes your way. Clinton girls basketball in action last night at home, taking on Argenta Oriental. It was a big night for the Lady Maroons. We've got a recap of that game coming your way. Also, Blue Ridge in action, playing host to GCMS in non-conference girls basketball action. A recap of that game in Farmer City this morning as well. The Bears host the Eagles on Sunday. Blues and Blackhawks in action last night. That's next in sports.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Don't run, Joe. That's the plea of the left-wing group Roots Action, out with a nationwide ad urging President Biden not to seek another term, afraid that his unpopularity will open the door of the White House to a Republican in 2024. accused of running afoul of the platform's doxing rules, endangering him and his family. Twitter chief Elon Musk suspending the accounts of some journalists. There's been no let-up in Russia's assault on civilians in Ukraine, with missiles raining down today on a number of cities. At least 2 civilians have reportedly been killed. Well, how low will it go? Wall Street's latest sell-off may not be over yet. Stock futures are deep in the red this morning. Dow futures down 314 points. NASDAQ futures off 53. S&P futures down 35 points. More details at srnnews.com.
With SRN Sports, I'm Michael Harrington. We're going to start with NFL Thursday Night Football and the 49ers, who are going to the playoffs after beating the Seahawks.
The San Francisco 49ers clinched the NFC West Division title with a 21-13 win over the Seattle Seahawks. Brock Purdy passed for 217 yards and 2 touchdowns as the 49ers won their 7th straight game. George Kittle caught both of Purdy's scoring strikes, while Christian McCaffrey rushed for 108 yards on 26 carries and caught 6 passes for 30 yards. Jim Bernard, Seattle.
Moving on to the NBA, 4 games yesterday. It was the Memphis Grizzlies all over Milwaukee, 142-101 the final there. Miami got the better of the Rockets, 111-108. Utah 132, New Orleans 129 in a game that went to overtime. And the Phoenix Suns stopped the LA Clippers 111-95. In the NHL, Carolina 3, Seattle 2. It was the Rangers over Toronto 3-1. This is SRN Sports. Rounding up the rest of your National Hockey League tallies from Thursday, Lightning 4, Columbus 1, the Flyers over the Devils 2-1. Ducks 5, Montreal 2, the Stars beat Washington 2-1. Penguins 4, Florida 2. It was the Kings over Boston 3-2 in a shootout, while the Jets needed overtime to beat Nashville 2-1. Vegas 4, Blackhawks 1. It was the Sabres over Colorado 4-2. Blues 4, and the Oilers 3, that one in a shootout. AP Top 25 college basketball, just one game yesterday. Number 22, Wisconsin over Lehigh, 78-56. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker will be the next president of the NCAA, replacing Mark Emmert as the head of the largest college sports governing body in the country. Baker, a Republican, has been governor of Massachusetts since 2015. He announced earlier this year he would not seek re-election. He'll start the job in March of next year. With SRN Sports, I'm Michael Harrington.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. The Clinton Lady Maroons made quick work of the Argenta Orienta Lady Bombers, 62-15 in non-conference high school girls basketball action from Clinton High School Thursday night. The Lady Maroons led 21-2 after the first quarter, stretching the lead to 42-7 at the half, and shut out the Lady Bombers to open up a 56-7 lead after 3. Heidi Humble led all scorers with 17 points. Clara Dempsey scored 14 for Clinton as each player that logged minutes scored. Clinton improves to 7-6 overall. The Lady Maroons play their final game before the Christmas holiday Monday at El Paso Gridley. Then it's off to the Monticello Holiday Hoopla, December 26th through the 28th. The GCMS Lady Falcons used steady offense to roll past Blue Ridge 55-26 in non-conference high school girls basketball action Thursday night in Farmer City. Sophie Ray scored a game-high 20 points for GCMS. Reagan Tompkins chipped in with 10 points. While the Lady Knights had balanced scoring, it wasn't nearly enough. Kylie Madden had a team-high 7 points. Blue Ridge drops to 3-9 overall. They begin action at the Meridian Holiday Tournament tomorrow, taking on Mount Pulaski. Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles are rolling along with a playoff spot secured and their sights set on the top overall seed. They've been particularly dominant in recent weeks, and it looks as though they have another mismatch on their hands. The NFC East leading Eagles will try to keep pace with the best start in franchise history when they visit Justin Fields and the struggling Chicago Bears on Sunday. The Eagles have clearly established themselves as a Super Bowl favorite, with Jalen Hurts leading the way They boast the best record in the NFL by a 2-game margin and locked up a playoff spot for the 5th time in 6 years with last week's 48-22 romp over the New York Giants. That came on the heels of a 25-point win over the Tennessee Titans. The 3-10 Bears, of course, are in a far different place. Though Justin Fields has started to resemble the franchise cornerstone they hoped he would become, the Bears come out of a bye looking to stop their second 6-game losing streak in 3 years. They have dropped not dropped more than 6 in a row since an 8-game skid in 2002 that matched a franchise record. The Bears can maybe take some comfort from Philadelphia. The Eagles lost 5 of their first 7 games last year before going on a 7-2 run that propelled them to the postseason. All eyes figure to be on the quarterbacks, with Hurts making an MVP argument, and Fields is on a dazzling run. Hurts comes in with 17 wins in his past 19 regular season starts. He became the second youngest quarterback to start 12-1 or better since the 1970 merger behind Miami's Dan Marino in 1984, and is the first at his position in NFL history with at least 10 rushing touchdowns in back-to-back seasons. Fields returned to his show-stopping ways 2 weeks ago in a loss to Green Bay after missing a game because of an injury to his non-throwing shoulder. Besides a 55-yard touchdown run, he also had arguably his best game as a passer, going 20 for 25 for a season-high 254 yards. He was not sacked for the first time this season, though he was intercepted on the final 2 possessions. The Bears have a difficult stretch ending the season. 3 of their final 4 opponents are currently in first place, with home games against Buffalo next week and Minnesota in the finale. In addition to the matchup this weekend with Philadelphia, Chicago also visits Detroit on January 1st. Jordan Kyrou scored the shootout winner as the St. Louis Blues beat the Edmonton Oilers 4-3 Thursday night for their second straight victory. Kyrou had a goal and 2 assists in regulation. Robert Thomas and Vladimir Tarasenko also scored. Jordan Binnington shut out Edmonton in the tiebreaker. He made 24 saves in regulation and overtime. Zach Hyman, Connor McDavid, and Kaylor Yamamoto scored for the Oilers, who have lost 2 of their last 3. Stuart Skinner made 1 stop after giving up a goal to Kyrou in the shootout. He made 29 saves between regulation and overtime. Edmonton got off to a quick start thanks to a rare gap by the Blues, who were assessed an early penalty for starting an incorrect lineup. The Oilers scored on the ensuing play just 63 seconds into the first period. Hyman whirled around the net and slid a backhand shot under Binnington. It was Hyman's 14th of the season and 5th in 3 games. But Kyrou responded with his 11th of the season at 6:47. Oilers defenseman Darnell Nurse coughed up the puck, and Kyrou blasted a shot into the top corner from the high slot. Edmonton regained the lead with another power play goal, 4:32 into the second period. McDavid went the length of the ice, dancing around a couple of defenders before sending a perfectly placed wrister into the corner. McDavid's 27th of the season extended his point streak to 11 games. The Oilers opened a 3-1 lead, 10:36 into the third. Tyson Barrie floated a long shot on net that was tipped home by Yamamoto for his 100th career NHL point. The Blues responded when Ivan Barbashev finessed a pass through to Thomas and beat Skinner for his 7th goal of the season. Tarasenko tied the game with a shorthanded goal with 19.1 seconds remaining in regulation, and another Nurse giveaway led to the puck popping loose to Tarasenko, sending the game to overtime. The Blues will visit Calgary tonight. Riley Smith scored twice. Rookie Logan Thompson made 23 saves to lead the Vegas Golden Knights to a 4-1 victory over the Chicago Blackhawks on Thursday night. Smith got his 4th shorthanded goal of the season in the second period, while the last-place Blackhawks were using 5 forwards on their top power play unit. He kept the scoring with an empty netter for his 14th goal of the season. Chandler Stevenson scored a power play goal in the second for Vegas. Phil Kessel tipped one home in the third. William Carlson and Jonathan Marchessault each had 2 assists as the Pacific leaders, won for the third time in 4 games. It was a solid road effort for the Golden Knights, who were coming off a wild 6-5 win over Central Division leading Jets in Winnipeg on Tuesday. The Blackhawks have scored a total of 5 goals during a 5-game slide. They are 1-12-1 in their last 14. Chicago rookie Arvid Soderblom stopped 21 shots. Jonathan Taves and Patrick Kane skated in their 998th game together with Chicago. They are on track to become the 12th pair of NHL teammates and second Blackhawks duo to play in 1,000 regular season games together on Sunday against the Rangers. Kane and Taves are also in the final seasons of 8-year, $84 million contracts with no movement clauses. The Blackhawks are at Minnesota on Friday. Get sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Chance for snow today, otherwise cloudy skies. High temperatures reach up to 32, southwesterly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Overcast skies tonight, lows dip down to about 22. Cloudy skies expected again tomorrow, a few flurries possible at times, highs around 28. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 32.
Hello again, everyone. This is Stu Ellis, swinging over the fire gate for you once again today. A lot going on in trade, and of course, trade means exports, and exports just are not quite the best they have been in quite a few years. But a lot of growing fuss and bother about Mexico's demand for non-GMO corn from the U.S. instead of the 650 million bushels of commercial corn that makes it our top destination for U.S. exports. And Mexican President Lopez Obrador may have thought he was offering a reasonable compromise when he told Secretary Vilsack that Mexico would remain open to importing genetically modified feed corn for another year. American farmers really didn't see it that way. And any attempt to ban any form of biotech corn, including corn grown for human consumption, is illegal under the U.S. Mexico-Canadian Trade Act, according to Angus Kelly. He's Director of Public Policy at the National Corn Growers. And he says extending the deadline will also extend the uncertainty for American corn growers who are making decisions now that will affect crops that will be grown next year and delivered to Mexico the following year after the supposed deadline for receiving only non-GMO corn. In the meantime, 24 members of the House Ways and Means Committee, including Representatives Danny Davis and Darren LaHood of Illinois, sent a letter to the trade representative, Catherine Tai, about Mexico. It said they want a resolution to this lingering trade dispute over biotech corn exports. In that letter, they said, we've been working closely with Congress on the issue, and it's inspiring to see congressional champions faithfully taking up the mantle. That's according to Tom Haig, who's the new president of the National Corn Growers. He said these members are now looking to Ambassador Tai to uphold the integrity of the USMCA. The letter is the latest development in response from U.S. officials as the ag community braces for a fallout if Mexico follows through on its promise to ban biotech corn shipments.